look at the Southwestern Bell starting lineups. First of all, for Nebraska, Kamani Friend is out. Brian Conklin, a freshman, in the middle. Steffon Bradford up front. Cookie Belcher, we talked about him. Look at those minutes. 4,000 plus in his career. Rodney Fields and Cary Cohorn. For Iowa State, the Cyclones start Kantrail Horton, a great shooter at the guard along with Tinsley. They have Shirley at center, and Rancik is out there along with the freshman Jake Sullivan, a great shooter who has it right now. First possession, Iowa State. Shirley, Sullivan. Back into Shirley. The turnaround off the glass, good, and the Cyclones have the start they wanted.
Paul Shirley has not put up many points recently, Fred. He has been a guy that has been a force inside, but you don't necessarily look at his points to see what kind of game he has. The first touch the first time down the floor for the Cyclones.
Steffon Bradford pulls his way down inside and racks up 2 for the Huskers, and we're tied.
Steffon Bradford's going to have a huge day for the Huskers here this afternoon. 22 points his last time out. Also had 9 rebounds against Texas A&M. He loses his mate up front and Kamani Friend, so Bradford is going to have to be huge today.
Cyclones showing some 1-4 high, and now they break out of it. This guy can shoot it. That's Kantrail Horton. Whoa. What a shooter he is. 41% from three-point range. He does so many things for this team.
Iowa State shot 55% against Texas Tech in midweek, breaking out of a short shooting slump that they had at Texas where they shot just 41%, hit 44% against Kansas State. So that was the first game in 3 that the Cyclones have shot well against Tech in midweek.
There's Cookie Belcher open in the circle. The jumper is short. Missed it all. Rebound fought for down inside. Controlled by Martin Rancik. Now Tinsley. Down inside, they've got Shirley a little deep under the basket, and he lost the handle on it out of bounds. Let's take a look now at our Dodge keys of the game, Paul.
Well, Barry Collier wants his team to come out with intensity, and it looks like they have done that here this afternoon and spread the wealth. Remember, no Kamani Friend inside. They'll have to pass the ball around, balance their scoring. And Larry Eustachy, he wants his team to complete the run. Three players on this team have never lost on this floor, and they're also going to want get some balance on their offense.
Barry Collier told us more than a month ago what he really cares about with his team. When you mention the intensity, what he really cares about is play hard. It's his first year at Nebraska. He changed the system up there, and he's not asking any more than that out of his team except give it your best.
That is a great matchup right there. Cookie Belcher, the point guard for Nebraska, working against Jamaal Tinsley. Man-to-man defense by Tinsley. Cohorn and Sullivan matched up. That's another good matchup on the perimeter.
A couple of great shooters matched up on the other side. Larry Eustachy didn't like the foul call on his team.
Actually, you look at these two teams, Fred, they almost mirror each other when you take a look at the strengths that they have on the perimeter and inside. Put Kamani Friend inside against Shirley and also Martin Rancik. That's a great matchup there as well.
Cookie Belcher knocks down a tray. It's a 5-4 ball game. That foul was on Jamaal Tinsley.
Jake Sullivan on the drive right there. A lot of people think he is just a spot-up shooter. That's not the case. If you go out and try to jam him on the perimeter, has the capability to put the ball on the floor, hit the little runner into the mid-range area. Cohorn with the foul right there for Nebraska.
Jake Sullivan, what a free throw shooter he is. This guy in high school shot 92% from the free throw line. Just unbelievable. The second highest percentage ever in the nation for high schoolers. He's shooting 90% here at Iowa State this year. And I knew it. I said it and I jinxed it. It's a 6-4 ball game. Go back to that Belcher field goal. It was a 2, not a 3. It's a 6-4 game now. Iowa State by a couple. Belcher down low. Bradford. He is strong in there, and the shot won't fall. And there's a foul called as they battle for the rebound down inside.
Fred, we're talking about matchups. That's another good one right there. Kantrail Horton, the senior, at about 225 pounds. He's matched up against Rodney Fields, another senior for Nebraska. Fields, strong body, will get the rebound on the far side after the shot by Bradford. It's knocked loose. There's Rodney Fields coming in from his perimeter position.
Cohorn missed the shot. That last foul on Sullivan, by the way. Tinsley trying to find Sullivan on the far wing. It was tipped away by Nebraska. Iowa State will play it in with 30 seconds on the shot clock. There is Larry Eustachy.
He puts so much energy into their practice and their games. Very concerned about this afternoon's game. Wants these guys to walk out with the conference championship. He doesn't want them sharing it with anybody.
Really very important to him that these guys know that feeling of winning it all. Lots of tries at it down there, and Rancik fouled as he got it up. And boy, the Cyclones went at it on the offensive glass. Rancik will go to the line.
Well, Iowa State strong inside, a rebounding average of better than 9 per game against their opponents. That would rank 3rd in the nation in rebounding margin. Iowa State with several opportunities right there. Couldn't get the shot down, but they'll have free throws.
Martin Rancik, one of 5 seniors here on Seniors Day at Iowa State. He's 6'8". Came to the United States from Bratislava, Slovakia, and played high school basketball at St. Louis Park in Minnesota. He had not only his parents here today, but his adoptive parents here in the state.
That was a great scene, wasn't it?
Oh boy, Seniors Day are so great. But when you say goodbye to 5 of them at once, it gets a little more emotional.
Well, Nebraska did that in midweek, their final game in Lincoln. A big win for the Cornhuskers. They beat A&M.
Cochran, who is a junior, knocks down a tray there. He's from Minden, Iowa. He might as well be one of these guys over here. There are a lot of great three-point shooters in this ball game today. It is 8-7. Iowa State at the moment. Cochran knocking down a tray to keep the Huskers within 1. We'll be back.
Eustachy burned a timeout to make a substitution. Not happy with the defense that Jake Sullivan gave the last time down the floor, so he inserts Shane Power into the lineup. But Jake Sullivan will get some time off. There's Power.
Shane Power, a freshman coming on in his own right. This game's Cargill alumni achiever is Sheryl Crow, a graduate of the University of Missouri. She's won Grammy Awards for the best new artist, the best female vocalist, record of the year. Cargill, nourishing potential. Kantrail Horton blocked from behind by Cookie Belcher and taken away. Call it a block, call it a steal, either way. Huskers have the ball. Larry Eustachy called Jake Sullivan down beside him, said a few words to him, then gave him a pat on the back. He'll be back before long. Paul Shirley makes a run. Shooter and doesn't get it, and Bradford down there now. Power strong with the rebound. Power just simply powered that one down.
Does not play like a freshman. Brian Conklin had that long-range shot for Nebraska. They changed their complexion up front with no Kamani Friend, who's primarily a low-box player. Conklin, a freshman at 6'11", can step out on the floor.
Likes to step out on the floor. Shirley down inside. Paul Shirley has 4.
Iowa State can play with a lot more confidence inside here this afternoon because of the absence of Kamani Friend. Friend had 5 blocks against the Cyclones the first time around. Certainly that'll help Shirley, who's in there at 6'10", but it might be a bigger advantage for Martin Rancik, who likes to play inside as well, but he's only 6'8", so they are not unhappy that Kamani Friend is over on the bench.
Belcher with a long try that won't fall, and Bradford was down inside. And a foul's been called on Iowa State, and Larry Eustachy is upset with the foul call. He's been working hard over there in front of the Iowa State bench, and we have a timeout here. 10-7, Iowa State by 3 as Paul Shirley goes to work inside. We'll be back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company. Today's game is brought to you by Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasolines so you get the most out of your car. Think smart, think performance, think Phillips 66. Iowa State with a brief 3-point lead here in the early going. Nebraska hanging tough over the first 4 minutes 20 seconds, playing shorthanded here without their center Kamani Friend, who's on crutches with a knee injury. Field goal shooting, well, not great either side, but obviously a little better for Iowa State.
Both teams very even through the first 4.5 minutes of this ball game. The difference so far, Iowa State's been able to get to the free throw line.
Long try by Fields, and he knocked it down. Goodness, Rodney Fields popped one from way outside. The 6'2" senior from Tampa. Well, I was just getting ready to say, it looks like without Kamani Friend, Nebraska wants to shorten this game. They're going to milk some possessions, and he just jumped up and fired one from about 25.
Well, Nebraska has not played the wide open ball game this year under Barry Collier that they used to do under Danny Nee. Danny Nee had him going full speed up and down the floor all day long.
Kantrail Horton with a miss from outside. Battle for the rebound, and Nebraska gets the ball back.
I'll tell you, a guy who's playing great for Nebraska so far, Steffon Bradford, has been huge both ends of the floor. Great position inside. Now, this is the best offensive rebounder in this conference, and while he's got good heights, he doesn't have great height. He's only 6'6", but a wide body as strong as they come.
How about Cary just nailed another 3. The junior from Minden, Iowa.
He's kind of the swing guy for Nebraska. They know they're going to get points inside with Bradford and Friend when they have him healthy. They know they're going to get points from Cookie Belcher. He is the swing guy. If he can hit from three-point range, Nebraska got a great chance at a win. Nebraska's on a current 6-0 run.
Look at Horton power down inside. Couldn't get it. Shirley's tip no good. And away comes Nebraska with Cookie Belcher with the basketball. Tinsley comes out to get it. Now Cochran, who's hit a couple of threes.
It's good to have a veteran team like Nebraska playing in a setting like this. Hilton Coliseum, you talk about Hilton Magic. If you've got veteran guys, older players playing on the road, they tend to play with a little more force.
Here's a problem for Iowa State. Tinsley just committed his second foul. We have 14-12 left in our first half. And Jake Sullivan back in, replacing Tinsley, sits down with 2 fouls with 14-12 left in the first half.
Tell you what, the officials have been consistent with that call all season long. A little bit of a touch, a little contact out front on those guards. That whistle blows almost every time, and we're right at the end of the season. They have been consistent.
As we come down to tournament time now, it's going to be interesting. They got Steffon Bradford on a push down inside there. His second foul also, so now Nebraska has that problem. It's interesting as we come to tournament time now, Paul, that if they try to re-emphasize cleaning up the contact down inside and do all those things we talked about at the start of the year.
I think as conference schedule went on, it started to become a little bit more physical inside. The forwards and the centers really getting after each other over the last couple weeks.
Horton had the ball knocked out of his hands. That's Cochran in open court against Jake Sullivan, and the foul is on Sullivan, and count the bucket. David Hall calls the foul on Jake Sullivan. Did he count? They signal count the bucket first. I don't know if they're going to now or not.
Well, Kantrail Horton working right there with Cookie Belcher. Belcher is so well known for his defensive work and getting steals, knocked that ball loose, and Nebraska quickly out on the break. I believe they're going to give him that basket.
Yep.
Cochran on the drive and Sullivan with the foul.
Cary Cochran with 8 quick points. Sullivan with the foul. His second. Points for Cary Cochran in the early going, and Nebraska by 6. Now Sullivan almost tried one in a power instead. In and out. Belcher with the rebound. Here come the Huskers leading by 6. Long pass Bradford, and he ran into Jake Sullivan down there. And as Sullivan was in position that time, the foul on Steffon Bradford, and that's going to be his 3rd. That is huge.
Well, this is great hustle by Jake Sullivan. In trouble early on in the ballgame because of a lack of pressure defensively, but good hustle to get down the floor. Steffon Bradford is running the middle of the floor. The lead pass by Belcher. And look at Sullivan set up in good defensive position. I don't think Bradford ever knew he was there.
Check me on that foul. I believe it's Bradford's second. They had him for 3. I believe it's 2, and now a miss by Iowa State. John Robinson with the ball to Belcher, trying to get by Sullivan, and the left-handed shot good by Cookie Belcher. He has 4.
He is
Bradford 2 fouls, not 3.
He is a good offensive player. Cookie Belcher, slashing type guy, can shoot the 3-point ball, but he would rather put it on the floor and get it to the basket.
Now Iowa State can't handle the pass inside again. They tried to get it to Rancik off his hands and out of bounds. And the Cyclones struggling a bit early here. They are down by 8 to a short-handed Nebraska team. And Larry Eustachy trying to get them reorganized here.
Jamaal Tinsley got in foul trouble in the ballgame against Texas down in Austin. The Longhorns ran away with the Cyclones that night. Kantrail Horton will run this ball club. He is the new point guard for Iowa State. Probably will be for the better part of the first half.
Belcher, a little short with the fadeaway try. Down inside, the rebound good. Right there to get the stick back for Nebraska was Wilson Thomas, the football player. Iowa State wants a 30 to talk about it here. Wilson Thomas with an offensive rebound, and Nebraska has doubled Iowa State. They lead 20-10. What a start for the Huskers.
Yeah, Iowa State was hoping to get a quick knockout here this afternoon. Instead, it's been Nebraska coming out with the hot hand. Larry Eustachy just trying to get things under control right now for the Cyclones.
So there's your score. 12:38 left in the first half, and Larry Eustachy and his staff talking about it. A 13-0 run by Nebraska here has put them in front by 10. Let's go back to January 20th, the first time these teams met this year.
It's Rancik for a layup, and it goes! And Iowa State wins it! Unbelievable! They will check the replay.
Well, it's going to take a comeback today for the Cyclones. It's very early. They have a long time to get it done, but they have missed 8 of their last 9 shots, while Nebraska's made 5 of their last 6.
Well, right now you find out what Iowa State feels their strength is offensively, and they were hoping for something other than this.
Cookie Belcher with a runner in the lane, won't go, and Shirley strong with the rebound for Iowa State. Hey, you mentioned Shirley a while ago. He and Rancik have played with so many injuries. When you talk about game, they are both very game players. Look at what the Huskers have done with the turnovers. That's Rancik. A little too strong with the drive. The rebound to Conklin for Nebraska. 20-10 Huskers, and they have the ball.
And Iowa State has now missed 9 out of their last 10, but got a good look that last time down.
Eustachy points to Jamaal Tinsley and says you're back in there. Robinson. Conklin, he'll shoot the threes. He's a 6'11 player, but he likes to take it outside. Now he was looking down inside that time for Justin Belcher, and he missed it. When we come back, it'll be Iowa State ball and a Nebraska lead of 10. Stick around. We have a long way to go. Cookie Belcher leading his team to the early lead here today.
Texas A&M just 9 minutes in the previous game against Kansas on the floor here early this afternoon.
Robinson screened that time by Belcher, and the long try won't go. Horton with the rebound. Iowa State down 8 with the basketball, looking to get a run going here. Tinsley
Created a shot.
That's the way you get a run going. He knocked that one down. It's a 6-point game, and the crowd here in Hilton on the feet and rolling. You get a sense here that Iowa State might be ready. Ball down low, Steffon Bradford. Outside, Wilson Thomas, covered by Horton. Augustine picked up by Paul Shirley. The crowd loves the defense.
Even though Nebraska has a comfortable lead right now for a huge possession.
Steal by Tinsley. Behind the back dribble to the circle. Great feed down the lane to Paul Shirley. Oh, what a play. And the Cyclones are on their way back. They are down by 4, and the crowd is roaring. Oh, what a play by the Cyclones. What a pass.
Well, while Tinsley was out of this ball game, the 2:15, it was a 13-0 run for Nebraska. It was 10-7 when he left, 20-10 when he came back out on the floor. But since he's come out on the floor, look what's happened. Check out the drive right here. Just create that little scoop shot. Now the next time down, he steals the ball defensively. Here he is on the offensive end, behind the back. Little shovel pass inside to Shirley. Now a quick 4-0 run for Iowa State. How important is Jamaal Tinsley?
How good is that? Just how good is that? I don't believe a pass. Left hand, little underhand, a little thing.
Well, he does.
That's the best way to get it done.
He does so many things. Get the ball into the middle, invents the scoop shot, gets the steal on the other end. Iowa State comfortable coming from behind when they can come out and play the tough defense. He led the defensive charge and then creating more offense on the other end.
You know, we've all had this.
The entire time it went in, rattled, and came out, and what a huge rebound by Kowski.
Now as a team, move the ball around, make sure that you use their offense to get a good shot.
Big Horton on the lineup now for the Huskers, and now a foul on Steffon Bradford of Nebraska, and that is huge.
You feel things starting to shift momentum-wise?
Maybe they got feels. It was Bradford's reaction that made me think it was him. I'm not so sure that they didn't call it on Fields. Let's check it. Tinsley's going to walk it up with his team down by 4.
Fans really into the ball game now here at Hilton Coliseum.
They did call that foul on Rodney Fields. Down inside. Evans working hard, can't get the shot down. Bradford grabs the rebound. Bradford was sure they had called that foul on him. He had a disbelieving look on his face, but they had not. It was on Fields. Bounce pass in the corner to Belcher. Baseline, Bradford working his way down the baseline. The shot on the rim doesn't go, and Shirley forces the rebound down. Here come the Cyclones down 4. Tinsley going to work. Now Horton.
One of the problems that Nebraska has defensively, how do you stop Jamaal Tinsley without a whole lot of double teams where you don't free up the three-point shooters?
Sullivan into the lane, and they're going to call a touch foul. No basket. Jake Sullivan, Paul, yesterday shot for 7 hours here in Hilton Coliseum. He is just, well, he's a gym rat is what he is. He's a workaholic.
And upset this morning. The Iowa State women's basketball team had a practice early this morning. He said it cost him 40 minutes of shooting. He couldn't get on the floor. The women have completed their conference play. They will appear in the Big 12 tournament. Had a good hard practice here this morning. Sullivan wanted a little floor time.
Tinsley to Sullivan on the inbounds pass. Horton, nice fake, got the man in the air, knocked the shot down. Kantrail Horton has 4. Excellent defensive player, good rebounder, great shooter.
A great compliment to what he has at the point guard position with Tinsley, and perimeter shooter from Jake Sullivan. Kantrail Horton, slashing type guy, solid defender. Big upper body, he'll work man-to-man against Cookie Belcher of Nebraska.
Cyclone defense has shut Nebraska down, and they tipped it away right there. It'll be Nebraska ball with 19 left on the shot clock.
Pretty productive 3 minutes now for Iowa State to get back into this ballgame.
Shane Power returning to the floor now for Iowa State, replacing Horton. Shane Power, a freshman from Crown Point, Indiana, worked on his shooting all summer with a guy named Rick Mount, who knows a little bit about how to shoot a basketball. Belcher working on Power now. Now backs away on the dribble as he's doubled, and Evans picked him up in the switch.
They got a little bit of a mismatch right there. Evans working out front against Belcher, and Power working inside against Bradford.
Belcher pulls up with 3 seconds left on the shot clock and knocks down a tray. He has 7 points, and that helped the Huskers. They're back up by 5. Nobody's sitting in the upper reaches of Hilton Coliseum right now. Only the fans in the lower level are sitting down. Everybody else standing.
I don't think Barry Collier needs to worry about the intensity of his basketball team any longer here this afternoon. This is a veteran team from Nebraska playing on the road in a tough environment, very much into this game.
Tinsley defended by Bradford, now picked up by Fields, and Tinsley takes Fields' baseline and knocks down the shot. Jamaal Tinsley has 4. Seems like he has 12. He's done so many things already.
I think he could have taken that drive a little bit earlier. He had Steffon Bradford out on him. He allowed Nebraska to go ahead and make that switch to get Fields back on him, then decided to go to the baseline. Go ahead, I'll take your best defender.
Nice work. Cookie Belcher right there, and he knocks the shot down. Boy, he put a move on. Cookie Belcher now has 9 points. Cary Cochran has 9.
Cookie Belcher, 16 points per ball game. Athletic, a leader, loves to compete.
Shane Power with a fake, no shot. Jake Sullivan. Those 2 freshmen scored 40 points against KU recently. Tinsley shot a little strong, taken back by Nebraska. Huskers starting to get things steadied down a little bit now. They're up 5 with the basketball with 6:50 left in the first half. Augustine, a long try, and he knocked it down, and Augustine had not been shooting the ball well at all. But he drilled that one.
Augustine been playing a ton for Nebraska just as they got into the conference portion of their schedule. Started 5 games early, averaged about 25 minutes per game. As I mentioned earlier, very little playing time recently.
It's a 28-20 lead here to Nebraska. 6:46 left in our first half. So Iowa State had started their comeback, and Nebraska suddenly has stalled it with shots like this. Welcome back to Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa, where Phillips 66 is proud to present Big 12 basketball. Great friends of the Big 12. Nebraska and Iowa State hooked up here. Fred White along with Paul Splittorff, happy to have you with us. Iowa State trying to wrap up the Big 12 conference title outright. They're going to have to win to do it, obviously, because there are 3 teams right behind them with 4 losses. Iowa State came in 12-3, and Texas, one of those teams, has won already today. There is the possibility of a 4-way tie for first place in the Big 12. Texas, a team that could have finished anywhere between 1 and 5 going into today. Took care of the 5 part of it with a victory.
Nebraska suddenly has a lot of fans around this conference outside of the state of Nebraska. You're going to find a lot in Kansas. You're going to find a bunch of them down in Texas.
Oh, what a nice lean in there by Steffon Bradford. His 4th point. Steffon Bradford, a 6'6" senior from Lewiston, Florida. So strong, excellent rebounder, good defensive player.
And he's been a good scorer recently. He's been in double figures the last 4 straight games for Nebraska. So this is a guy that they hoped would step up big here this afternoon, and so far he has.
Nebraska has reestablished that 10-point lead that they had earlier. There's Tinsley down low. Jamaal Tinsley now has a half dozen points.
Well, that time Rodney Fields influences him to the baseline, figuring he was going to get some double team help. That double team help a little bit late getting there, and it didn't take Tinsley all that long to find a shot.
How about Horton and Tinsley, what the two of them accomplished as a pair? There's a deflection of the ball, still loose on the floor in the lane. Tinsley's got it. Here they come. They are 3 on 2. And Tinsley going to take it and miss. The tip try won't go. And the long rebound run down by Tinsley.
Good job, Nebraska that time. Looked like Tinsley had everything working for him. Had a 3-on-2 break. A lot of floor space to work with. He normally converts in that kind of setup.
Tinsley against Belcher. Good matchup here. Tinsley baseline blocked by Belcher. Cookie Belcher slaps it out of bounds. That is his 20th block of the year. Paul Shirley coming back into the game. Richard Evans will go to the bench for Iowa State.
Cookie Belcher, solid defender, really better in the steal category than he is on the ball defense, but that time the defensive assignment against Tinsley.
13 on the shot clock. Iowa State has to be aware that they did not get the new clock. Power down low. Rancik 6 on the shot clock. They've got to do something.
I don't think they're aware of it.
Horton, he's going to do it with 3 seconds left on the shot. Air ball won't change the shot clock. And Nebraska with good solid defense gets it back. Did he get the timeout in midair? David Hall is going to go to the table to talk about it, and the 3 officials are going to confer here over whether or not to allow a timeout. Shirley was trying to call it in midair.
Well, if they gave him the timeout, they should get a fraction of a second left on the shot clock. That buzzer going off about the time he landed on the floor. David Hall gave him the timeout.
I thought it was a shot clock violation. I don't know that the out-of-bounds play, how much it had to do with it. Let's see.
There's the shot from the floor. That may have grazed just the corner of the rim. And if it did graze the corner of the rim, they'll get a new shot clock. It did not. They're going to have less than a second to inbounds the ball and get a shot. This may give us a better angle to get another look.
I think it did.
Yeah, it did. Just barely grazed. It looked like it changed directions just enough. If so, great timeout by Paul Shirley.
It was great timeout, and they'll have a new shot clock when they come back. Try it again from this angle. I think you see the ball change directions there. I'm sure you do. They are walking to the end of the floor as Iowa State's in. I don't see anybody stepping out of bounds to play it in yet. But the ball isn't there yet. They're still looking at it over on the monitor. The officials taking a look on the monitor to make sure they get the call correct.
Really like this in college basketball. The officials have the opportunity to go check out the monitors at the scorer's table.
Well, they can't hear us, so we can say whatever we want about it. And looking at that, I feel certain that the ball did slightly change directions there.
I think that's the best angle right there.
They're going to talk to the 2 coaches now. They are going to allow the timeout. They're going to say the ball did touch the rim. They're explaining it now to Barry Collier on your left and Larry Eustachy on your right, the 2 coaches. That's a good piece of officiating right there. Join Tostitos' Battle of the Fans and vote for the best college basketball fans. Just log on to Tostitos.espn.com, and every time you vote, you're entered to win $25 grand brought to you by Tostitos. So it will be Iowa State ball. They should get
the full
a new
35.
shot clock. They should get it. Now they changed the clock.
The officials took their time to make that call and get it right.
Good piece of officiating.
Yeah, and a huge game.
And they went to the monitor sitting in front of Associate Commissioner Tim Allen, who's here today. I love it when they just work to get it right. There's Tim. He's been to the conference for a long, long time. One of the better conference officials in the country, and does a great job of running tournaments. He'll be in Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament and for the NCAA first round down there. Now we have a foul. Down inside, away from the ball. That was on Brian Conklin, I believe. He and Rancik were tangled up down inside the lane. 4:49 left in our first half. 30-22. Nebraska with the lead here. Martin Rancik to the line, a 75% free throw shooter. Scored 953 points in his career here, and he's fought off a lot of injuries to do it. The young man from Bratislava, Slovakia.
This ball game comes down to free throws. Huge advantage Iowa State. 73% as a team, second in this conference.
He had 22 points against Texas Tech. Last time out as the Cyclones beat the Red Raiders 80-63. They shot 55% that night to clinch the tie for the conference title. 4:41 left in the half. 6-point lead now Nebraska. Iowa State looking for a stop.
Tough to win when you shoot 36% from the floor. Nebraska after a good start the first 10 minutes.
Cochran. Belcher trying to feed it low. Can't. It's out of bounds to Iowa State. Now they're down by 6. They have the ball with 4:26 left in the first half.
Cookie Belcher thought that was going to be a little roll to the basket by Brian Conklin right there. Belcher actually had the drive. He had a step on Shane Powers, who had defensive responsibility on Cookie. Instead of taking the drive, he went bounce pass, but Conklin was not on the roll to the basket.
There are the turnovers. Nebraska 7, Iowa State 5. Big possession for the Cyclones here. They're down 6. 11 on the shot clock. Kantrail Horton trying to create something down low. Shirley, jump hook on the rim. Won't go. Rancik had it for a moment. Taken away by Steffon Bradford of Nebraska.
Nebraska doing a good job defensively, Fred. They're not stretching the defense out to get into the passing lanes. They're defending from the inside on out. Iowa State having trouble shooting from the perimeter over the last couple minutes. It's been tough to find shots inside.
That was Bradford's 4th rebound of the afternoon. Now the Huskers up 6. Cochran. Fields working on Shane Power. Did he travel? They say no. Shot no good. And Shirley pulls the rebound down. 5 rebounds now for Paul Shirley. Horton with a miss from three-point land. Chased it down in the corner. Deflected by Nebraska. Fought for on the floor. Fields down low. Underneath. Horton.
That ball wasn't in Jamaal Tinsley's hands very long. A loose ball turns into a snap pass and a layup as everybody's scrambling back to their feet.
That scramble results in a 4-point lead for Nebraska. Tinsley with a steal. Just took it away from Steffon Bradford. Tinsley pushing the action. Lob underneath. Rancik foul hard. Cookie Belcher whistle for the foul. 2:50 left in the first half, and now the Iowa State Cyclones, for the second time in this first half, come fighting back from a 10-point deficit. They put Rancik on the line. He has 4 points today, all of them at the free throw line.
Tinsley with the steal and the tightrope walking, and his eyes did not show you what he was going to do. He was looking out on the perimeter to Horton, dumped it inside to Rancik.
It's a 3-point ball game. Rancik has 5. It was his layup with 3/10 of a second left in Lincoln that let the Cyclones escape that one with a 1-point victory at 60-59. Wilson Thomas in for Nebraska. Rancik trying to make it a 2-point ball game now. Was short with that try. Power trying to slap it out. Picked up by Rancik. And the Cyclones have it down 3, and another foul on Nebraska. That one's on John Robinson. He's going to go back to the line. Now he could make it a 1-point ball game. Still 2:44 left in the first half. Collier.
Got to be disappointed in that rebounding effort by his Cornhuskers that time. Not controlling the rebound after the missed free throw. Shane Power made a huge play for Iowa State.
That was simply a hustle play by Power. He's hit 6 out of 7. See the crowd here behind him. That crowd that has created so much Hilton Magic down through the years. May be called on one more time. Rancik has 8. It's a 1-point ball game. 2:44 left in our first half. 30-29. Nebraska still has the lead.
I'm Dan Patrick here. Loss and Penn State losing. Guys, what do you think? Missouri, that probably helps the Tigers.
Well, I think you're exactly right. I think that there are really going to be 6 teams in this conference, Paul, go to the tournament. I think Missouri's already in, but when you get to the stage of the season, everything like that gets magnified. It doesn't.
Well, the committee is going to look at wins late in the season. Those are going to be huge, especially against quality opponents. So you want to play well the last couple of weeks of the regular season and in that postseason tournament. But Missouri should be in good shape.
There should be 6 Big 12 teams in postseason play, and you look over on the women's side, they may have 7. How's that?
That's a pretty good league.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Robinson working against Horton. Fadeaway shot blocked by Horton. Taken down by Power. And here comes Iowa State with a chance to go in front. They're on a 9-0 run right now. They have come from 10 back to 1 back. Rancik won't go. Robinson with the rebound for Nebraska.
Robinson wanted to run, but his other teammates weren't set up and fill in their lanes. A little bit late, working away from the defensive basket.
Augustine backs it out. Robinson shot won't go. Strong rebound. Pulled out of there this time by Paul Shirley, and they're going to call it a jump ball.
Big time effort by Craig Wortman, a walk-on senior for Nebraska. Held that ball long enough for the tie-up.
Wortman from Huntington, Nebraska, a 6'4" senior. Husker basketball on the alternate possession. Augustine. Robinson. Conklin outside, defended by Rancik. Shirley defending the low post there against Wortman. He's working hard down there. Shirley got a hand on him. He's going to be called for the foul. Paul Shirley, too smart to argue. Paul Shirley is a graduate student of mechanical engineering. Coming up at halftime, highlights from the Texas Tech game. Top 25 scores and highlights around the nation. We'll update the brackets for you. Where Texas is on a roll. They are playing maybe better than anybody in the conference right now. Crowd trying to bother Craig Wortman, and he doesn't get it. Looking for his first point of the day, 52% free throw shooter. You know, the Huskers are only a 59% free throw shooting team.
That's because Kamani Friend gets to the free throw line so much.
Yeah.
He struggled in that department. He's less than 50%. I'd still rather have him on the floor this afternoon than where he is over at the end of their bench.
How about this? He shot 211 free throws so far this year. Whether or not that year is over, he's not playing today because of a strained MCL in the knee. Wortman came back and got one. 2-point lead, Nebraska. Minute 33 left in the half. Shirley up top. Now Sullivan, and now we've got a foul. So we look down inside. David Hall blowing the whistle.
Almost looks foul on Wortman. Almost looks like a zone defense that Nebraska has thrown up against Iowa State. They pack their man-to-man in so far defensively. Again, we mentioned they defend from the inside on out.
You know, you think about this Iowa State team, Paul. I'm sure coaches think sometimes, well, maybe box and one, but you do that with Tinsley, and that leaves you with Horton and Sullivan sitting outside that zone. That won't work. They just have too many weapons to do much in the way of gimmicks. Rancik has scored all his points from the free throw line so far in this ball game. He has 8. He's 8 for 9 at the line. Could tie the game right here. And does. Well, we are tied at 31-31. A minute 26 left in the first half. Capacity crowd here in Hilton, hoping to get a chance to celebrate an outright championship today. The Cyclones 12-3 in the conference coming into this game. 24-4 on the year. We are tied, and the crowd wants a defensive stop. Cyclones working on it. Augustine, long try, good.
Augustine has come out in this ball game looking for the shot. 38% shooter from three-point range. 2 for 2 here this afternoon. Has not contributed points recently for the Cornhuskers.
Sullivan wants to answer. Does. Jake Sullivan would like nothing better than a shootout. That's his first bucket of the day, a 46% three-point shooter. Just Sullivan's first shot of the day. Belcher wants his. Really strong with the try. Horton muscles the rebound off there. Here comes Iowa State with a chance to take the lead for the first time in a while. Sullivan really wants the ball, asking for it. And we have a foul call in the lane. It's going to go against Iowa State, against Richard Evans. He was shoving a couple of guys in there. But Sullivan really wanted that shot. He may have had a little too much adrenaline going when he cut it loose.
Well, he was the same spot, other side of the floor, as the last one he drained from the near side. We saw the defense packed in defensively, and he had a lot of room, time to take that shot. It was a little too strong.
Kevin Augustine goes to the line. You're not going to believe this. You mentioned he's a 38% free throw shooter, or three-point shooter. He's a 38% free throw shooter, too. How does that happen? Maybe he thinks too much about it. Junior from Santa Ana, California. Got it.
He has hit some big shots here this afternoon.
Yes, he has.
Much needed points coming off that Nebraska bench.
Nebraska in front here with 37 seconds to go. He hits this when the shot clock won't be much of a factor, and he does. It's a 2-point lead. Nebraska, 37.2 left in the first half. So there's about almost a 2-second differential. Kantrail Horton sets a play. Keeping Tinsley on the bench right now. Jamaal Tinsley with those 2 fouls. And if you play chess, they have castle. I get the king protected here so he doesn't get hurt.
Well, Rancik also has 2 fouls, so he's over on the Iowa State bench. They will take the last possession.
Well, Horton, a good point guard in his own right, so they don't get hurt that much. No call? Yeah, call. Whistle blows. And they're going to call a foul, a charging foul on Kantrail Horton.
Workman has made a couple big plays this half. The tie-up on a rebound that Paul Shirley had, and now the step out and took the charge as Horton came across the top of the pit. Nebraska has time with 6.1 seconds. Now they got a shooter on the floor. Here comes Cary Cochran. He's out there along with Conklin. Both Cochran and Conklin can step out and shoot from long range.
Nebraska with a 2-point lead. The charging foul gives the ball back to Nebraska. Boy, Eustachy upset with a substitution that was made late right there. Augustine on the dribble near the lane, gets up the shot and hits it. Boy, Augustine playing so well down the stretch. He has scored 10 points for the Huskers in the first half here. And Nebraska is going to take a 4-point lead to the locker room at halftime. 38-34. Huskers are score here in Ames. So Nebraska playing very well without Kamani Friend. Let's take you now to Studio 66 and Doug Bell.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Nebraska play. Welcome back to the ESPN Plus Halftime Report. Classroom Champ is brought to you by Phillips 66. When it comes to convenience and value, it's at the top of the class. Highlights. That's Trans-America Athletic Conference out of Atlanta, Georgia. Lefty Drizel, the head coach of the Panthers at Georgia State. Watching as Robert Rushing drives, hits it off the glass for Troy State, but back comes Thomas Terrell, the three-pointer from the corner, and the Panthers could smell it. Oh, yes, James Gilchrist finishes off, and they're celebrating. Lefties going back to the show. Georgia State wins with a 28-4 record. Very impressive. Hey, Nebraska's been impressive. So is Cookie Belcher. Back.
Welcome back. Halftime. 38-34. Nebraska has spent a half of runs. The Huskers twice had a 10-point lead. Twice Iowa State came back. Every time it happens, Nebraska holds them off.
Well, the time that Jamaal Tinsley got in foul trouble, Nebraska immediately took advantage of that. Went on a 10-0 run, established control of the ball game at that time, and Larry Eustachy wanted to keep Tinsley on the bench. Couldn't afford to do it any longer.
Have 2 fouls. Let's take a look at the Shelter Insurance first half highlights.
Well, Cookie Belcher led things off for Nebraska early on in the game. On the drive right here, 9 points at the break, also has 4 rebounds for Nebraska in the first 20 minutes. But Jamaal Tinsley, when he got back off the bench, really took charge of the game offensively for Iowa State. Not a big scoring half for Tinsley at 6 points and a couple assists in that first half, but he is the guy that kind of turned the tide for Iowa State to keep him in the game. And late in the first half, Kevin Augustine caught fire. He is the leading scorer in this ballgame, surprisingly 10 points on 3 of 3 shooting from the field. 10 points in his last 10 games total. 10 in the first half here this afternoon.
He got on a run, didn't he? For your life, home, bar, car, or business, Shelter Insurance will always be there for you.
Is brought to you by Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasolines so you get the most out of your car. Think smart. Think performance. Think Phillips 66. CSFB Direct. Invest online with CSFB Direct. Quiznos. Oven toasted tastes better. And by Reebok. Experience the fit of the Reebok pump. Only at Foot Locker. Are you pumped?
Iowa State down 4, kept the first low. Belcher knocked it away. Let's take a look now at the Miller Lite first half stats.
But this ball game very even through the first half. Shooting advantage goes to Nebraska, and especially from three-point land. Larry Eustachy will tell you that when his club doesn't hit from three-point range, they struggle. Quite a ball game going here this afternoon. Both teams start the second half like they started the ball game. Original starters back out there for both Nebraska and Iowa State.
Shirley down low, takes it out to Tinsley. 6 on the shot clock. Tinsley working the baseline, getting help from the crowd on the count on the clock, and Horton for 25 missed it all. Well, Nebraska Makes a defensive stand to start the second half. They get the ball back, leading by 4.
Rodney Field, solid defense all afternoon for Nebraska. Pretty much taken Jamaal Tinsley one-on-one and has battled him every time down the floor.
There's a foul down low.
I think they got Bradford, and if they did, that's foul number 3 on Bradford on the pick. They were trying to free up Cochran coming across the top.
So they got Cochran. It was his 3rd foul.
So they got Cochran on the court.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there is a possibility of big-time foul trouble in this game the way it's going right now. We're not there. We're sitting on the verge of it.
Iowa State has 3 players currently with 2 fouls, and Bradford still sitting on 2 for Nebraska.
Sullivan got Belcher in the air. Now pops his short jumper and gets it. Jake Sullivan. Well, he shot the ball much today. Has 8 points. That's only his 3rd shot of the day.
Likes that little runner. Doesn't have to be behind the 3-point line to do damage on the offensive end.
Tell me what shot he doesn't like, my friend. He loves any shot. Tinsley knocked it out of Field's hand. Tinsley. Oh, what a dish to Paul Shirley. Oh, what a pass. Jamaal Tinsley at times is simply a magician out there. It's a tie.
When you anticipate him passing the ball to another guard on the run instead of the center run in the middle of the floor.
I want to say he tricked me that time, but I got whiplash. It's looking right. He threw it left. Tinsley with a steal. Belcher's on him in backcourt. Screen from Shirley. Oh, what a pick. Now Tinsley takes it into the circle. Down the lane. Won't go. Rancik's tip won't go. And here comes Cochran for Nebraska.
Iowa State did a good job in the first half on the offensive glass. Iowa State came away with 18 rebounds. 8 of those were offensive boards.
Rancik called for a foul there.
Iowa State wanted a quick push here early in the second half to try to get back into this. Here's Jake Sullivan on the little runner. Able to get by Cookie Belcher. And then Tinsley taking charge on the defensive end. Slaps it away from Fields. Gets it back. Has the guard on the right wing. Instead give it to the big guy.
That team's Rancik's 3rd foul, and he'll go to the bench. Now Conklin. Now Bradford moving on Evans. Evans seals him at the baseline, but Bradford turns and shoots it over him and picks up his 6th point.
Anybody else who guards Bradford inside is going to need some help. I don't think that's a good matchup for Iowa State right there. Bradford's just too big and strong if you allow him to have the ball on the low blocks.
Evans, oh, he missed one from point-blank range. Got it back, and a foul call. Richard Evans thought he had a point-blank bucket right there, but he didn't.
Well, used the basket to seal off the defender right there. Had Conklin beaten. Took it underneath. Rolled off the front edge of the rim.
Now Tinsley takes Conklin down inside, shoots it over him, and is fouled. Conklin's 2nd foul. Right now fouls are slowing the action down here. 40-38 Nebraska. We're at Hilton Coliseum in Ames. Huskers have really put up a battle without Kamani Friend in the lineup today. He's out with an injured knee. His status for the tournament unknown. Here's Tinsley's quote about his team. Team strength, you never know who will be the man. Well, most days he's at least one of them. It's a 1-point ball game as Tinsley misses the 2nd free throw try.
When they leave their huddle, everybody has the slogan, team together. They say it every time they break their huddle after a timeout. They have been together all season.
Oh, what a nice entry pass from Conklin down to Steffon Bradford. Bradford has 8 points now.
Conklin's a great guy for that high-low look that Nebraska likes to give you. He can hit that mid-range jumper out to about 15 feet. He's also 6'11", so he can see over that defense. And Bradford, the solid bull inside on the low blocks.
Well, Nebraska just holding up very steadily here today. They lead by 3. They have the ball. Long way to go. 16:35 left in the game. Cary Cochran. Belcher and Horton in a collision. They call it on Kantrail Horton. They had a call in the first half with Horton and Wortman that went the other way. It was called a charging foul on Kantrail Horton.
Kantrail Horton picks up his 3rd, Fred, and he was politicking big time there with Larry Eustachy to try to stay in this ball game.
He'll sit down with 16:31 left in the game. Cochran from the deep corner nailed a three. Boy, he can shoot it. Cary Cochran, a 47% three-point shooter, has 3 trays a day and a dozen points. He has 178 three-pointers in his career now.
And now second in the Big 12 in three-point percentage on the season.
Shane Power for Iowa State. To Sullivan, the 2 freshmen exchange the ball. Sullivan drops a backhanded pass in the lane. The foul called on Cary Cochran of Nebraska. And that is problems for Nebraska. That's going to be his 4th. Cochran's going to come out of the game. He's going to be replaced by Kevin Augustine. Cochran draws his 4th foul with 16:08 left in the game, and a big chunk of Nebraska's firepower is going to go sit down.
Barry Collier right now is going to hope that Augustine plays as well in the second half as he did in the first half. He should get a lot of minutes here today.
Tinsley working with the basketball, pull up, shooter, 3. Jamaal Tinsley does that sometimes. He just suddenly stops the dribble and takes the shot. And the game is a 3-point game, 45-42 Nebraska.
Iowa State would still like to make this a 3-point shooting ball game. Haven't been able to get on a good run yet this afternoon.
So many times this year, Paul, Tinsley has really triggered a second-half offensive burst for Iowa State. Belcher a miss. Rebound tipped around. Conklin's got it back up. Won't go. And Bradford with a strong offensive rebound. The whistle blows and a foul is called.
Kamani Friend applauding his teammates for their efforts here this afternoon.
Timeout here, 15:32 left in this one. 3-point lead, Nebraska. We'll be back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company.
Get into the zone, ESPN Zone.
There's your score. Nebraska still leading by 3, 15:32 to play. Cooper Tires, a lot of mileage for the money. Cooper Tires, drive on. Paul, you get the feeling we're headed for a heck of a finish here today.
Well, fouls are going to be a big factor for the rest of this ball game. Teams already in some foul trouble. Other guys hanging in there with a couple of fouls, so the officials are going to be a big part of this second half.
In a game like this, you want to be going to the wire with your best players on the floor. Great drive down the baseline by Fields, counted, and he was fouled. Another foul called as that time it was Rodney Fields scoring his 5th point, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Rodney Fields, a point guard earlier in his career, better suited for the wing or even the small forward. See his strength on the baseline right there, trying to drive it around Jake Sullivan. Sullivan with the foul for Iowa State. Good offensive play by Fields. One of the reasons we're getting a lot of fouls in today's game is both teams showing a willingness to put the ball on the floor and drive inside.
Nebraska holding up well. 6 points, Rodney Field. That was the 2nd foul on Sullivan, and the Huskers back in front by 6. Iowa State has led very briefly in this game. Nebraska has held the lead. Twice they've been up by 10. Both times Iowa State came back, but Iowa State hasn't been able to take it over the top and get in front of it. Conklin now covering. Great dish inside to Rancik, but a foul was called before the ball got to Rancik down in the lane. How about the job 6'11" Conklin did, coming out to cover the point at the top of the key.
He's a pretty good-looking athlete out there. Conklin just a freshman, but he's gotten a lot of playing time. Averages about 15 minutes per game. Iowa State with 2 players on the floor right now with 3 fouls. Kantrail Horton out front, and Martin Rancik, number 51.
And that was the 3rd foul. Conklin, the crowd lets out a roar. As that bucket goes down, Martin Rancik gets his 11th point, his first field goal of the day. Shirley they gave it to. Shirley with 8 points.
Tinsley saw that loose ball, went for it to pick up his 3rd foul of the day.
Boy, the foul thing is very likely to get serious. Tinsley now has 3. Horton has 3. Rancik has 3. Sullivan 2. Bradford picked up his 3rd for Nebraska.
Both teams so aggressive, leaving it all out on the floor here this afternoon.
We got 14:35 to play. They might leave a lot of minutes out there too if they don't get the pace slowed down. Cochran has 4 for Nebraska. Bradford 3.
Rancik and Bradford working real hard to get away from the ball.
And Bradford with a nice soft shot down inside picks up his 10th point.
Martin Rancik that time playing high side, trying to deny the entry pass. Nebraska worked the ball around on the perimeter, just trying to get a good angle to get it inside.
6-point lead Nebraska. Bradford has 10 points, 6 rebounds in this game. Shane Power on the dribble here. Kantrail Horton, he hasn't really been able to get it unhinged yet today. His foot slipped. He got all spread out in the lane. Now a whistle blows and a foul call.
The last Nebraska possession right here. Check out Rancik working against Bradford. Bradford got a little space right there. The entry pass from Belcher. Strong to the glass. A lot of contact inside, but no whistle. Bradford working with 3 fouls.
And another foul call. Cookie Belcher called for that foul. And Belcher now has 4.
All frontline guys. In fact, kind of cornerstone players.
That was Belcher's 3rd. Shane Power knocks the free throw down.
Well, again, when you take a look at these two teams, if it becomes a free throw shooting contest, Iowa State would have a huge advantage.
Yeah, they are an excellent free throw shooting team. Power 73% shooter. A freshman gets it. 4-point lead. They originally had 3 fouls up for Belcher before that foul was called. Now it is just his 3rd. But still bad enough. Augustine against Tinsley. Fires it down inside and through the hands of Steffon Bradford. Iowa State down 4. And they get the basketball back here.
Good pass by Augustine that time, just off the hands of Steffon Bradford. In fact, as the Cornhuskers went back down the floor, Bradford just patted the young guard on the head and said, hey, that was my fault. I should have been able to control that pass.
Tinsley fouled as he took the ball in the lane. Got Robinson.
You see either one of these two teams backing off?
No, I don't. They're playing hard. They're going to call that a shooting foul. It's a 1-and-1. 8 fouls now on Nebraska, 5 on Iowa State. Tinsley makes the free throw. The NCAA Regional coming up in Kansas City. First and second round games are tickets available now through the Kemp Arena box office. And that'll be open starting Monday. Tickets $120 each. Following the Big 12 tournament, they're going to hold a brackets watch, a selection show watch in Hale Arena, and open the box office immediately after that show. So you'll have a chance to see the Big 12 tournament, then see the pairing show, then buy tickets. All after the Big 12 championship game.
Again, Rancik playing high side on Steffon Bradford, able to pick off that entry pass right there. Deny the pass, he was able to get the steal.
Tinsley to Shirley. Shirley backs in. Spin move. Knocks up. Game's tied. Paul Shirley has 10.
Taking it right at Bradford, who's in there with 3 fouls. Shirley using the body in there at 6'11".
Belcher to the baseline and a foul call on Shane Power. He and Shirley were both there. They're going to count the bucket. And Shane Power whistled for the foul. Boy, this is turning into a heck of a game right now.
Well, here's a strong move by Paul Shirley, developing into one of the best centers in this conference. Big time points right there. And now on the other end, Cookie Belcher, the senior, working with Steffon Bradford, a little 2-man play. Belcher taking it all the way to the glass. I believe they counted that basket.
They did count it as 52-50 Huskers. 12:49 to play. Belcher trying to make it a 3-point lead. And doesn't. Well, you have to give Nebraska a lot of credit. They haven't let Iowa State really unleash their 3-point game yet. They're going to try it there. Kantrail Horton. Now the Cyclones 3 for 13. Belcher going to try the run at Horton. The shot good. Cookie Belcher now taking over for the Huskers. He has 4 in this half, 13 in the game.
Well, Fred, ever since Nebraska had made their move at about the 6-minute mark of the first half, they haven't allowed Iowa State to get even with them, or they haven't given up their lead. Iowa State hasn't really been able to catch them to get ahead on that scoreboard.
22 on the shot clock. Horton. And there's Rancik tangled up down inside with Craig Whitman, and they got Whitman for a personal foul.
Whitman can be an important guy the rest of the way because they're probably going to need some depth up front for Nebraska. Doesn't need that foul at about 18 feet from the basket. Trying to deny the pass, but they're out there just inside that 3 line when he got that foul. You don't need to defend Martin Rancik that far out on the floor.
He's been good at the free throw line today. 9 for 10 at the line. All of his points have come at the free throw line. He has 10 and 4 rebounds today. Can get the Cyclones back within 2 right here with 12:15 to play. 11 points. Mark teams have been in close games this year. Look at this for the Huskers. 14 half their games decided by 5 points or less. They are 14 and 14 on the year, 7 and 8 in the league. There's Augustine back inside. And a charging foul on Kevin Augustine turns the ball back to Iowa State. He took it into heavy traffic that time. There's Barry Collier. Probably doesn't agree with the call. He never shows you a lot of emotion. He really controls his emotions on the sideline. He never lets his team see him sweat. He wants them to be poised, and he keeps his. 12 minutes to play. Cyclones down 2 with the basketball. Backdoor cut. Horton, and a block down in there.
Not an easy pass to get through there by Jamaal Tinsley, but he got it done.
Nebraska's defense reacted to it. So the Huskers keep a 2-point lead in the ball. Belcher against Shane Power. Pulls up, pops one. A little too strong, and Power grabs the rebound.
Cookie Belcher's going to have to be a key for Nebraska.
Tinsley, a lead pass intended for Rancik off his fingertips, but out of bounds off the hands of Nebraska. So the Cyclones will have the ball when we come back. 11:32 to play, and we are back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company.
Sports fan.
We are back at Hilton Coliseum in Ames, where Nebraska's up by 2 with 11:32 to play. You see Barry Collier working in the huddle. Today's game brought to you by Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasoline, so you get the most out of your car. Think smart, think performance, think Phillips 66. If Iowa State wins this game, they are the #1 seed at the Big 12 tournament. If they don't, things get complicated. Texas has already won, so they would have a tie for the title. There were 41 possibilities, scenarios going into action this weekend. And there's no point in trying to go into all 41 of them here. If Iowa State wins, it simplifies things a lot, at least regarding the #1 seed. But they have been behind most of the day. They're down by 2 now. That's Tinsley feeding Power in the circle down the lane. Leonard, good. Shane Power, the freshman from Crown Point, Indiana, his first field goal. 4th point, ties the game with 11:05 to play. And Hilton coming to life.
Belcher really likes Shane Power because of his all-around play.
Shirley
right there.
Shirley and Workman really bumping outside, and they call the foul on Paul Shirley. Shirley and Workman really bumping, and Paul Shirley called for the foul. Larry Eustachy really upset with the call. Take a look at the action outside here. Shirley's second foul.
This is just 2 guys banging out there. No sense for Shirley to put himself in a position to get that foul, but I think you could also hand out an award for the show on the other side.
Workman took a little flop at the end, did a little acting, and it paid a dividend. Free throw, good.
Shirley picks up his second foul, so he's in no foul trouble yet. But again, the way this game's going, still just inside 11 minutes, a long way to go in this one.
Workman, second one missed. Kantrail Horton over the back with a rebound, and now a foul's called. And that's going to be against Nebraska's Wilson Thomas. He felt like he had all the position in the world on that one, so everybody's turned into an attorney here now. They're all pleading their cases.
And nobody's winning.
No. We got a hung jury. 55-54 Nebraska. 10:52 to play. Kantrail Horton is playing with 3 fouls. He has 6 points. Hasn't scored in this half. 86% free throw shooter. All over the rim, and it went out. This is Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa. The Big 12 outright championship at stake. Iowa State coming in needing to win to clinch it outright. They've clinched the tie. And we have a tie in this one now as Horton makes the second free throw. That's the 7th tie of the game. 55-55, 10:52 to play.
There Eustachy up at the edge of that coach's line, telling his guys hands off. Iowa State normally a team that does not foul very much. He's seen enough of those fouls that could get his guys in trouble.
They usually make in a season more free throws than their opponents shoot. They're not quite there this year, but they're close. Now the Huskers turn it over.
Cookie Belcher on the drive was trying to feed it back outside to Kevin Augustine. Said the ball went over the Nebraska bench.
15th throw of the day for Nebraska. Iowa State taking care of it. They've only turned it over 7 times. Iowa State now hunting the lead for the first time since back in the first half. Horton. Nelson Thomas, the football player, defending. A walk-on. He's a split end on the Husker football team. Tinsley.
And an outstanding defender.
Tinsley for the lead. High off the rim. No. Rancik. Rebound, and he's hammered from behind by Craig Horton.
10th offensive rebound in this ball game for Iowa State. Martin Rancik doing a big job on the boards. This is his 4th offensive rebound. Cyclones still having trouble from the perimeter with their shot. And there's Rancik going to work.
Rancik now has hit today in this game 11 out of 12 at the free throw line. Iowa State 20 for 24 at the line. 6 for 9 for Nebraska. Workman committed his 3rd foul on that one, so he joins the parade of those with a lot of fouls.
Iowa State's first lead since the 16-minute mark of the first half.
They're in front by a point. Rancik just threatened him. He's 13 for 14 at the line. Iowa State by 2, and the crowd in Hilton coming to life as Augustine brings it up to the Huskers with 10:06 to play. Rancik makes a run at Augustine, who nails a 3. Kevin Augustine with his 13th point of the afternoon. Is he playing?
10 total points in the previous 10 ball games for Kevin Augustine. Has come alive offensively here today for Nebraska.
Tinsley wants to answer, takes it in the lane, down the lane, lays it up and gets it. Jamaal Tinsley. 9 points in the second half, 15 in the game, and again it closed by 1. Augustine blocked down in there by Shirley, but a foul call. If that's on Shirley, that's his 3rd. It is. Paul Shirley's committed his 3rd foul.
Augustine wanted it on the offensive end and burying the long-range shot. Then Tinsley, who's going to stop him one-on-one? No Nebraska help defensively. Tinsley able to take it to the glass. And then Augustine again on the offensive end, acting like he wanted to take charge.
That ties it at 59. Augustine with his 14th point today. Having his best day as a Husker. They barely got rim that time, and Shirley has the rebound. Double team, gets it out of there. Tinsley almost mishandled it, takes it in the lane, and he's fouled. The shot goes up, doesn't go in. That foul against Nebraska on Craig Wortman, that's his 4th. Wortman commits his 4th with 9:27 to play.
Remember, Wortman picked up his 3rd foul way out on the floor against Martin Rancik. Some of these guys are wishing they had some of those fouls back that they picked up earlier in the game.
We showed you the foul problems earlier. They're growing. Tinsley has it all over the rim and gets it. I think they call that the shooter's rule. Tinsley now 15 points today. He only has 4 assists. Seems like he has 30. 2-point lead, Iowa State, 9:25 to play. Eustachy encouraging the crowd now to fire up, and they do. Augustine. Cochran with 4 fouls, back on the floor now.
Nebraska is a veteran team, but you don't see those veterans out there right now because of the foul problems. Only Steffon Bradford, the guy on the floor with a whole lot of experience for Nebraska.
Augustine gets it up on the wing. Down low it goes again, and Augustine with a fadeaway missed it.
Shirley got a piece of it. Shirley got just a finger on that shot.
Iowa State now with the lead and the ball, and Tinsley knocks it down. Guess who's taken over? 4-point lead, Cyclones. There's that Hilton Magic we've talked about. It's a 30-second timeout. It's a 4-point lead to Iowa State. It's their biggest lead of the day, believe it or not. There's Tinsley, the reason why. He's really starting to get it done. 18 points now for Jamaal Tinsley.
Wanting to take charge in this basketball game. Probably going to be the player of the year in this conference. Tinsley is on the last couple minutes, and Nebraska is going to make a couple substitutions to get veteran players back in there. Belcher is at the scorer's table. He'll be back in, and he should be a key for Nebraska the rest of the way.
Here's the other key. With 8:48 to play, just look at the players in foul trouble here. Nebraska, 2 players with 4, 2 with 3. Iowa State, 4 players with 3.
Iowa State a little more comfortable trying to take the ball on the drive because Kamani Friend is not in this ball game. Friend had 5 blocks against Iowa State the first time round, so Guys in white jerseys can put it on the floor right now and don't have to worry about the big guy in the middle.
Ronnie Friend blocked the shot with 0.8 of a second to play. And they got the inbounds pass. Tinsley to Rancik with 3 seconds to play. And that was a play that Tinsley called walking away from the timeout. Said, I can get it to you. Just make a cut to the basket. He did, and he did.
Almost single-handedly won the ball game in the last minute at Kansas State. Had 5 blocked shots in that game. 3 of them coming inside the last minute.
Play stopped for just a moment. An official picked something up off the floor. Crowd chanting here in Hilton Coliseum with 8:45 to play. They want the championship outright. Nebraska trying to deny that. This has been a heck of a competitive game, and Tinsley takes it away from Augustine. Cyclones up 4 with the ball. Tinsley going to work. Stumble. Kantrail Horton has it, and a foul on Cary Cochran. He's out of the game. Cochran with 9 first-half points was so big for Nebraska. Has been in foul trouble the entire second half, and he just fouled out.
Jamaal Tinsley gets his 5th steal of the ball game. Just took it away, got it to the offensive end. Cochran trying to step out and turn the ball handler around. Instead, he picks up foul number 5.
It'll be Kantrail Horton at the free throw line. He has 8 points and 4 rebounds in this game. He's one of them playing with 3 fouls. Horton does have a 3-point goal in this game. It's a 5-point lead. Iowa State in a position now, Paul, if they can get a couple of stops and a couple of buckets to open the game up just a little bit. Nebraska's done such a great job of hanging in this game today. They played with tremendous poise, and they have really competed. Horton makes it a 6-point lead.
They've competed so well right now. They need to lean on their seniors. Cookie Belcher's on the floor along with Steffon Bradford. Got to figure those guys are going to get a touch. Rodney Fields is also out there for the Cornhuskers.
Robinson on the dribble.
They're looking for Belcher. Can't get him the ball.
Conklin tried to buy a foul, set a screen on Tinsley. No whistle.
Look how far Cookie Belcher had to come out on the floor just to get a hand of the ball.
9 on the shot clock. The crowd applauding the defense. Belcher goes to work. Jumper, good. Oh, what a job by Cookie Belcher. He has 15. And there's your senior that you talked about.
Seniors are supposed to hit big shots this time of the year, and Cookie Belcher did not disappoint his team.
4-point lead, Iowa State. 7:45 to play. Kantrail Horton takes it to the lane. Fakes, doesn't shoot. Tinsley will. Off the heel of the rim. Belcher has the ball, and here come the Huskers down by 4. John Robinson handling the basketball, met by Tinsley at midcourt.
Get the feeling that Robinson is looking for Belcher, wants to get him the ball as quickly as he can.
There's a foul on Cookie Belcher out at the top of the circle. He and Power in a collision. That is 4 on Cookie Belcher now. 4 fouls on Belcher with 7:22 to play, and it was the freshman Shane Power who drew the foul away from the ball. Shane Power goes to the line, 73% free throw shooter, 2 for 2 today. Shane Power from Crown Point, Indiana, a 6'5" freshman, good defender. Free throw good. He again worked with Rick Mount over the summer on his jump shot back in Indiana. His uncle, Don Brum, was a Pro Bowler in the NFL. It's an athletic family. That's short. Rancik keeps it alive. Shirley gets the ball, saves it. Got it to Power. What an athletic play by Paul Shirley. What effort by Rancik and Shirley. They get a fresh shot clock. 7:10 to play. Tinsley and Belcher hook up out near the timeline. This is a great matchup. Now Horton gets involved. In the switch, Belcher's on Horton. Back to Tinsley, 14 on the shot clock.
And you talk about a great matchup. There are great matchups all over the floor. Have been all afternoon.
Oh, Tinsley tried to throw it to Horton, taken away by Belcher. Belcher on the run out. Got it with the left hand. Big play, Cookie Belcher. 17 points for Belcher. Now it's a 3-point lead, Iowa State.
Belcher is so good at anticipating defensively. He's not their best on-ball defender, but obviously the best steal guy in this conference.
Horton Nebraska doing a good job of getting out and covering the three. Iowa State 3 for 14 from three-point range today. Rancik's try for two is missed. Hustle rebound. Shane Howard. Horton way outside. And got it. Kantrail Horton from way outside nails the tray. 6-point lead Iowa State. That might be the one, Paul, that Iowa State's been looking for.
Iowa State all season long has been known for the deep three. That's their first one of the afternoon from way back.
Rancik deflection. Tinsley working his magic down the lane, and he is fouled. All of a sudden, Horton's three ignited this crowd. It ignited this whole Coliseum.
Well, Fred, the Cyclones were only 3 of 14 from three-point range before the Horton three-pointer. Now 4 of 15, so it hasn't been a big three-point day. Jamaal Tinsley, after the slap away defensively, quickly down to the offensive end.
7 points. Biggest lead of the day for Iowa State. Nebraska twice led by 10. Well, you think about this Iowa State team. They win it last year. Nobody thought they would. Nobody thought they'd win it again this year. And they have Shirley. Got the rebound. Rancik couldn't handle the pass, but it's saved. Kantrail Horton was playing center field, and now we have a timeout here. This is a 30. And what this team has accomplished this year is as amazing as last year. They lose Marcus Fizer to the NBA draft. Nobody thought they could win it. They come right back. They win it. Let's take a look at the Comfort End game summary of what's happened so far today.
Well, we have seen a lot here this afternoon. 4 people in double figures for Nebraska had balanced scoring in midweek in their win. 23 rebounds in the day for the Cornhuskers. Iowa State just 8 turnovers in the game. On the side, Nebraska has 23, so that's a big factor. Martin Rancik, 13 of 14 free throws. Iowa State's been at the free throw line a lot here in the second half, and Nebraska is trying to find a way to hang in there right now. Again, they'll need to lean on their seniors. They got a couple good ones out there. Belcher, Steffon, Bradford.
Well, Shirley has a double-double a day, 12 points and 10 rebounds.
Well, Fred, you make a good point about Iowa State. This is a good basketball team, and everybody focuses on their guards, but it's really been the work of Paul Shirley and Martin Rancik in there. Without the kind of balance that they've been able to get from a couple guys that physically weren't all that strong over the last couple years. Guys have gotten bigger and stronger, has given Iowa State great balance all season long.
Ball's out front. Tinsley 17 on the shot clock. Shirley posted down low against Justin Boker. Really wanted the ball, couldn't get it. Tinsley goes to work, fires it into the corner. Horton had the ball knocked out of his hands, and a foul on Cookie Belcher. And that,
I think they got feared.
Belcher, you know what? I'm going to quit reading players' reactions. Belcher really reacted to that whistle and went running with the basketball like he thought it was going to be on him because he was reaching for the ball.
His reaction will tell you a little different story right now. He's kind of laughing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it wasn't me after all, huh?
That's not as bad a call as I thought it was originally.
No, that might have been a good call. I don't know. Now Horton.
Iowa State is getting some rolls today from the free throw line. They haven't had a clean one in a while.
14 points for Horton, 4 for 5 from the free throw line now. All of a sudden, they have a 9-point lead. 5:26 left in this one. 9-point lead, Iowa State. Watch, this might be the one that triggered the final run. Kantrail Horton. We'll be back.
We always say kids start using drugs because of peer.
Iowa State has had a great battle from Nebraska here today. They now have the biggest lead they've had all day long at 9 with a late run in the second half. Look what's happened over the last 2 years. Iowa State has won 56 games coming into this one. That's more wins than any other team in Division I over the last 2 years. And it's largely because of the seniors playing here today. They have had outstanding careers, 5 of them saying goodbye here today.
Tinsley, Horton, and Evans. 3 seniors have never lost on this floor. Tinsley taking charge here in the second half. 13 points, 3 assists, 3 steals, all since the break.
Belcher with the basketball. Defended by Rancik. Picks up the dribble, goes to Fields. Now Augustine. Crowd wanting another stop. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Crowd, everybody now in Hilton standing and applauding the effort their team's given it here today. Augustine stopped by Tinsley. Outside it goes to Belcher for 3. Short. Great rebound. Augustine off the offensive glass. Belcher again for 3. Nailed it. Cookie Belcher and Nebraska simply will not go away.
Well, Belcher hitting the big shot right there. Uncontested three-point shot. The first one over the outstretched hands of Martin Rancik. This one wide open. He hit a good percentage of those shots. Had a great time for the Cornhuskers.
One of the officials, David Hall, talking to the players, Paul Shirley and Justin Belcher, about wrestling matches they've been having down low in the lane. Both players nod yes. Fighters go to the corners. Here we go.
Well, that's another good move by the official right there. I'm sure they don't want to blow the whistle any more than they have to. This is a great ball game. Looks like it's going to go to the wire. I don't want anybody else getting in more foul trouble.
Great ball game, well officiated. Rancik turnaround, jump shot too strong. Now tangling down low again, Shirley and Belcher, and they call a foul on Belcher that time.
Great defense, other side of the floor. Steffon Bradford working against Martin Rancik. Solid work with the body. Rancik got the shot off, but it was under pressure. And then the big battle on the other side of the ring.
Paul Shirley, as I mentioned, a graduate student. He's already graduated, a fifth-year senior. Missed a year because of injury. Carried a 3.6 cumulative GPA in mechanical engineering.
He says his brother's smarter than him. He's going to Collier.
Shirley today with 12 points, 11 rebounds, and his usual tremendous effort. He's playing with a stretch fracture in the pelvis and has nearly the entire season. He'll be mad at himself for missing the free throw, but a whistle blows down in the lane. Cookie Belcher somebody got in the lane too soon. Cookie Belcher says, what was that about? Cookie, I don't know if you did it or not, but it was about a lane violation. Shirley's going to get another free throw with his team leading by 6. And it wouldn't fall. You may not see that one again. Nebraska down 6, 4:27 to play. The Huskers hanging tough. Belcher on the drive at the baseline, throws it up, and it was in and came back out. But a foul was called against Iowa State's Kantrail Horton, and that will be his 4th foul.
Well, you can't stay out of foul trouble if you're going to have man-to-man coverage against Cookie Belcher. He's going to force you all afternoon long. Just a little bit of a step, got his shoulder around the defender, creating the contact.
Cookie Belcher 20 points so far this afternoon. Well, Nebraska's had problems shooting free throws all year. Cookie Belcher hasn't. He's a 75% shooter. Here's what both teams have done today.
Kind of going the way you'd figure it would, with Iowa State having the advantage from the free throw line.
Yeah. 5-point lead, Iowa State, 4:19 to play. Tinsley walks it up, shouting instructions to his teammates.
Well, they talk about when you get into league play in crucial games, it becomes a possession game. It'll be that way the rest of this one.
Howard. Horton. Shirley out top. Back to Tinsley.
Value your possession and get a good shot every time down. Defensively, you can't give any second efforts.
Tinsley. And the tip up won't go. Shirley had it back on the rim. It wouldn't fall. Tinsley's shot was on the rim. Nebraska down 5. Belcher working on power. Jump shot short. And a tie-up on the rebound. The jump ball, the possession arrow, belongs to Nebraska.
Power got his hand on that shot from Belcher. Belcher said he got some of his wrist as well.
So we have a timeout here in Ames. 3:42 left in this one. And we'll be back after this from your friends at Phillips 66, the Performance Company. Coliseum in Ames. Larry Eustachy and the Iowa State huddle trying to coax another win out of this Coliseum and out of this team. They are up by 5. Iowa State having to come back against a very game Nebraska team. Winning streaks at home. Michigan State winning again today. Iowa State second in the nation. If they can hang on, this will be their 36th consecutive win in this Coliseum here in Ames.
Great to talk about possession ball games. Nebraska 18 turnovers. Iowa State has just 8. Cornhuskers can't afford to turn it over anymore in this game.
Belcher takes it low, gets it. Cookie Belcher having a day. He has 23 points. It's a 3-point lead for Iowa State.
And attracting a lot of attention. 3 different defenders that time covered Cookie Belcher on the wing, on the drive, and at the baseline.
Cookie Belcher showing up big here today with Damani Friend out of the game with an injured knee. His status for the tournament unknown, not playing today, and Nebraska playing very well without him. Tinsley, long 3, got it. Oh my goodness. points for Jamaal Tinsley. 6-point lead Cyclones. The clock under 3. 2:52 to play.
Rodney Fields that time went for the double team against Kantrail Horton. Left Tinsley all alone. He ended up with the wide open shot.
Belcher against Power. Takes him to the baseline. Gets in the air. Fires a pass to Augustine. 13 on the shot clock. Now 10. Shirley comes out, covers Augustine. The ball to Belcher. 5 on the shot clock. Power with him. Augustine on the dribble. Tries to take Power down inside. Rancik's there. And the shot clock went off. Tremendous defense by Iowa State. They couldn't get the shot off in time. Time now to take a look at our CSFB direct play of the game. There it is.
The Kantrail Horton 3 maybe started this run for Iowa State. Tinsley may have finished it off right there.
Iowa State by 6. 2:04 to play. They are waiting to celebrate. If Iowa State can hold on and win it, they will have an outright championship.
And check out all the room that Iowa State is going to give Tinsley to work. A 1-4 low. Everybody stretched out along the baseline. Give them the entire floor, and you see what?
Tinsley now has 24 points, and the crowd roaring in Hilton. 8-point lead. Iowa State, Augustine for Nebraska. 1:41 to play. Picked up by Bradford near the baseline. Shirley blocked it. Tinsley's got it. Here they come on the break. Tinsley down the lane, throws it up and gets it. Oh, Jamaal Tinsley putting on a show. And the Cyclone lead is 10 with 1:25 to play, and they are going bonkers here in Hilton now. Just listen to him roar. Belcher stopped again. Cookie Belcher just keeps on playing.
This Big 12 game has been brought to you by Sonic, America's Driving. Proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball on ESPN+. Bank of America Investment Services Incorporated. Proud presenter of the $1 million Beat the Buzzer Challenge. Phillips 66, where we put the best in our super clean gasoline so you get the most out of your car. Think smart, think performance, think Phillips 66. Shelter, for your life, home, car, farm, or business, Shelter Insurance will always be there for you. And by Comfort Inn, it's more than a room, it's comfort.
Here is the play that maybe sealed this deal. Jamaal Tinsley to the offensive end. Tinsley, 20 points in the second half. He scored the last 7 for Iowa State.
Remember we said earlier, there was Iowa State grabbing another loose ball, knocked away again. Tinsley had it, and it was off Cookie Belcher's hands out of bounds. It'll be Iowa State ball. They lead by 8. Remember we said earlier how many times this year Tinsley's taken it over in the second half. He's doing it again here today. Shirley's block was the 6th for Iowa State in this game today. Moment taken here to clean up some perspiration on the floor. Cookie Belcher should be perspiring the way he's played. Huh? He hit the deck right in front of us here.
Nebraska really going to have to come out and play tough defense. They would like to have a 5 count right here to get a quick turnover.
Well, Nebraska has to feel good about the way they played here today. They won't feel good about the loss. But playing without Kamani Friend, they led most of the way today. Kantrail Horton on the dribble. Now to Tinsley. Same power. Iowa State in no hurry. Clock under a minute. And a foul call on Rodney Field of Nebraska. 51 seconds to play, and the crowd here standing in anticipation. Iowa State trying to close this one out to go 25-4. Finish the conference at 13-3 as the outright champion. They won back-to-back championships way back in 1943 and 44 and 44-45, but they were ties. This time they'll have an outright championship. Shane Power with his 6th point of the day. Again, he's a 6'5" freshman from Crown Point, Indiana. 51 seconds to play. 10-point lead. Iowa State. Nebraska's fought so hard. Belcher, it won't go on the layup. Rancik rebound. Horton driving the break to Tinsley. Floats in, shoots, gets it.
A new career high for Jamaal Tinsley, 28 points in the afternoon.
What a performance Tinsley has put on. He is removing any doubt about who is the player of the year in the Big 12. Listen to the crowd. What a day for Tinsley. 29 points. 39 seconds to play. Belcher. Too strong. And Paul, what they have accomplished here in the last 2 years in Ames, what Larry Eustachy and his staff and their players, these seniors, have done. Well, it's just a marvelous story. Look at the crowd. It's a great tribute to the fans here at Iowa State. There are a lot of great fans around the country.
They're going to have a wonderful ceremony here not too long after the ball game when they hand out the conference championship trophy.
And it's the seniors that got it done for Iowa State today, Paul. Tinsley coming out of the game. Look at that. Larry Eustachy said recently, I'll be very surprised if we aren't friends for life. And it wasn't always like that. They had a few rocky moments when Jamaal Tinsley first came here. It was
the same thing with Marcus Fizer a couple years ago. Marcus Fizer didn't buy into this program immediately.
How did it get to a 15-point lead so fast? Foul, the whistle, calling the foul at the other end of the court here. 25 seconds to play. What a job the seniors have done here today. Paul Shirley with a double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds. Tinsley, 29 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Horton, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. You could go on and on. Suffice it to say that the Iowa State seniors have delivered. There's Martin Rancik, another one of them. 13 points and 6 boards today. They have delivered throughout their careers there. Set to come on now for Iowa State. Andrew Stogey. Here comes Kantrail Horton, and listen to the ovation. Rancik and Shirley have yet to walk off. They will. Augustine makes the free throw, and there goes Martin Rancik. 13 points, 6 boards today. And another hug. It's a huggy kind of place today. Did we say at the start of this game that probably be a love fest here? Guess what? It is, and rightfully so.
Nebraska worked hard to put off that love fest and did it for a long time today.
Stogren. Rolls over here. Omar Bynum. Clock running down. 12 seconds to play. Sullivan to Power. 8 seconds to play. Iowa State doesn't really want to shoot it. They're going to let it run out. And Iowa State taking a timeout just to get one more senior to walk off to an ovation. Shirley. A young man who really wasn't recruited by much of anyone. Dartmouth. And Iowa State.
Came to the school on an academic scholarship.
You know, go ahead. Tears starting to flow from Paul Shirley and Shirley. Look at Cookie Belcher. Giving handshakes to them all. That's class. He's a senior, too. He's not feeling too good about things right now. He put up a whale of a battle with his team, and there it is. It's over. And the celebration begins in Hilton. Iowa State standing alone at the top of the Big 12. They win it 86-73 here today. What an afternoon at Hilton Coliseum in Ames as Iowa State wins the Big 12 Conference Championship outright. And we'll take you back to Doug Bell in Studio 66.
Basketball tournament. It all kicks off at noon on Thursday, March 8th at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. The Big 12 Network will bring you continuous action through the semifinals on Saturday, March 11th. 2 players to keep an eye on in the quest for the title are Iowa State's Jamaal Tinsley and Oklahoma State's Maurice Baker. All the Big 12 excitement is right here on ESPN+.
So there you have it, the trophy at Hilton Coliseum for everyone to see. The first time in Iowa State's history they've won back-to-back regular season conference championships outright. Iowa State a winner today, 86-73. Congrats to all the Cyclones and their fans. That wraps up the season from Studio 66. We move to Kemper Arena next week for the tournament. The first 10 games on ESPN Plus, and in Studio 66, Chris Piper will join me for all the fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. The proceeding has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports. From everyone at ESPN Plus, have an excellent week.